Welcome back to my YouTube channel Sonia Banga Classes. Today we are going to discuss next poem of 12th class, A Thing of Beauty, which is written by English romantic poet John Keats. Let's discuss about John Keats first. He was one of the main figures of the second generation of romantic poets along with Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley. Although his poems were not generally well received by critics during his lifetime, his reputation grew after his death. So by the end of 19th century, he had become one of the most beloved of all English poets. So we can say that the poetry of John Keats is characterized by sensual imagery, most notably in the series of odes. So we will discuss about A Thing of Beauty. So the very opening line of this poem, A Thing of Beauty, openly recites the very theme of the poem too. So we can say that any beautiful object is always treasured in our mind. कोई भी beautiful जो object है, it is always treasured in our mind because it provides us eternal and everlasting joy. So the happiness that anything beautiful provides never fades into nothingness. कोई भी ब्यूटीफुल जो थिंग है वो कभी भी नथिंगनेस में फेड नहीं होती, बट इट मल्टीप्लाइज मैनी फोल्ड वेन एवर इट रिटर्न्स टू आवर माइंड. सो दिस पोएम प्रेजेंट्स द रीडर विद द व्यूज ऑफ जॉन कीट्स on beauty and its value and its importance to humans. So let's discuss the poetic lines. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. First of all, we will discuss the meaning of bower here. A shady place under the tree. As I was telling you that the opening line of the poem, A Thing of Beauty, openly tells us about the theme of the poem also. So first of all, we are going to discuss here the theme of the poem. So theme of the poem is any beautiful object is always treasured in our mind because it provides us eternal and everlasting joy. So in these lines the poet says that beauty stays forever, it never fades away. A thing of beauty is a joy forever, its loveliness increases and it will never pass into nothingness. So rather it increases with the passing time. As the time passes by, so its beauty increases. So the perception of the poet regarding beauty is that it never goes off with the passing time. कि जैसे जैसे टाइम पास हो रहा है उस टाइम पास के अकॉर्डिंग हमारा जो थिंग ऑफ ब्यूटी है इट नेवर फेड्स अवे, रादर इट ब्यूटिफाइज मोर एंड मोर. For the poet, beauty is like a beautiful shady tree, a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So, according to the poet, beauty is like a beautiful shady tree, under whose shade all the creatures can sleep peacefully and enjoy good health. So, we can say that beauty in whatever form it may be found, कि जिस भी फॉर्म में अगर हमें ब्यूटी फाइंड आउट होती है, सो इट इज़ एन एटर्नल जॉय टू ह्यूमंस. क्यों? क्योंकि ह्यूमंस को क्या प्रोवाइड करती है? इट प्रोवाइड्स ह्यूमंस द कॉन्स्टेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी to reflect on that beauty which stands in such stark contrast to the dejection, monotony, ugliness of everyday lives. So we can say that in spite of having difficulties and the sufferings that humans face, beauty में क्या ability है? It has the ability to produce happiness, okay, and that humans bear. और जो एक परमानेंट बर्डन फील कर रहे हैं ह्यूमन बींग्स, ओके, सो ब्यूटी में एक वो एबिलिटी है, वो एबिलिटी हैप्पीनेस को प्रोड्यूस करने की. सो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस फर्स्ट literary terms of this first extract. First of all, rhyme scheme is here. A A B B C. Why it is A A B B C? Because forever has the sound of never and keep with sleep and breathing. Okay, so A, B, B. And now we will discuss the next literary term, which is alliteration here. Alliteration is a literary term for which we can say that it's a use of consonant sound at the beginning of two words which are close in series. For example, it is given there sleep, sweet. Okay, so as consonant sound is getting repeated here. Now we can say that the metaphor here. Okay, so metaphor is here bower quiet, means calmness of the bower is compared to the calming effect of a beautiful thing. Okay, so it's a metaphor. Metaphor literary device is a type of comparison without using like or as. Now let's discuss the second extract of this poem. Therefore on every morrow are we breathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despotence of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pole from our dark spirits. Let's discuss the meaning first. Morrow. Morrow means the following day. Therefore, on every morrow are we reading. Reading means surround or encircle. So, therefore, on every morrow are we reading. Keats, therefore, tells us about the importance of beauty here. Okay, and we can say that which includes physical objects, which are the examples of natural beauty such as daffodils, and also beauty that can be found in art such as the lovely tales we have ever read or ever heard. So morrow means the following day, reading means surround or encircle, despotence means depressed, gloomy means sad. So now we will discuss the explanation of this poem. The poet says that on every day, morrow means on every morrow. Every morrow means every day, it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit. So therefore, on every morrow are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth. First of all, we will discuss the meaning of this phrase. So Keats here feels that every morning हम क्या वीव करते हैं? वीव मीन्स बुनना. सो वी वीव अ ब्यूटिफुल स्ट्रिंग ऑफ फ्लावर्स और मेमोरीज जो हमें सपोर्ट करने के लिए हेल्प करती हैं, मोटिवेट करती हैं टू लिव आवर लाइफ टू द फुलेस्ट इंस्टेड ऑफ burdening our lives with pain and suffering. So on every morrow means every following day are we reading. हम क्या वीव कर रहे हैं? आर वी रीडिंग मीन्स आर वी सराउंडिंग. हम क्या वीव कर रहे हैं? एक ब्यूटिफुल स्ट्रिंग ऑफ फ्लावर्स और मेमोरीज. और वो मेमोरीज हम किसके लिए कर रहे हैं? टू बाइंड अस टू द अर्थ, कि हम अर्थ के साथ क्या हो सकें? बाइंड हो सकें. सो स्पाइट ऑफ despotence. Spite of despotence means in spite of burdening our lives with pain and sufferings, of the inhuman dearth, of natural, of noble natures, of the gloomy days. So the poet says that every day it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit to live. It is the beauty which builds the desire in us to live, though there are sad moments and cruel people around us. Okay, inhuman dearth means cruel people around us. So अगर हमारे चारों तरफ sad moments भी हैं और the people who are cruel to us, so it is the beauty जो हमारे अंदर एक motivation लाती है, एक desire लाती है to live the life to the fullest. So now, why is there an inhuman dearth of noble natures? Why it is written by the poet here? क्यों कहा गया है कि in human dearth of noble natures? In these days हम कह सकते हैं there are few people who are noble in character, जो बहुत अच्छे हैं, who rise above petty differences. Okay, जो छोटे छोटे differences को लेकर जो generous हैं, जो generous means जो noble character के लोग हैं. So there is dearth of such. Dearth means कमी हो जाना, lack of. Okay, so there is lack of such noble souls on our earth. हमारी अर्थ पर इन नोबल सोल्स की क्या है? कमी है. एज मैन इज सेल्फिश एंड सेल्फ सेंटर्ड, क्योंकि ह्यूमन बीइंग क्या है, सेल्फ सेंटर्ड है, सेल्फिश है. सो इट इज़ रिटन बाय द पोएट हेयर of the inhuman dearth of noble natures. Okay, so of gloomy days, gloomy means sad days, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways made for our searching. So here the poet wants to say that without beauty the earth will be full of cruel people, the earth will be full of sad and gloomy moments, gloomy days, and it is the beauty which is created by God, which helps us to remove the sadness from our dark spirits. Dark spirits means from our hearts. Okay, so some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. So here the poet wants to say that it is the beauty which is created by the God, जो God ने create किया है, and which helps us definitely to remove the sadness and gloomy days from our hearts. Now, what are unhealthy and over darkened ways? Okay, so what are the unhealthy and over darkened ways described here in the poet? So the unhealthy and over darkened ways refer to the trials and tribulations of life. Okay, जो difficulties हमारी life में हैं उनको यहाँ पर क्या कहा गया है, unhealthy and over darkened ways. इन शॉर्ट हम ये कह सकते हैं द सेल्फिश एंड जेलस मेथड्स वी अडॉप्ट टू अचीव आर गोल्स. हम जो अचीव करने के लिए, अपने गोल्स को अचीव करने के लिए क्या करते हैं, इन अनहेल्दी, सेल्फिश और जेलस मेथड्स को यूज़ करते हैं. ओके, सो वी कैन से दैट हियर द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अराइजेस फॉर अस, व्हाट इमेजेस ऑफ ब्यूटी हैज़ द पोएट रेफर्ड टू? So we can say that the poet appreciates the simplicity and serenity of beauty through the different images of the sun, moon, trees, sheep, daffodils and green pastures and the lived streams and a fair bloom of musk roses. In the next extract you will find out the same. Okay, so before that we will discuss literary terms according to second extract. First of all, anaphora literary term is given there in the second extract. Anaphora means repetition of the word, repetition of the same word in two consecutive lines. Okay, as it is given there in the fourth line of second extract, of noble natures, and in the next line it is given there of all the unhealthy. Okay, so use of same words in two lines. So we can say here anaphora literary term is used here in second extract. Now alliteration is also used here, use of consonant sound at the beginning of two words which are close in series. For example, it is given there B in band, bind, N in noble nature, S in some shape. Okay, so alliteration is also there. Now here metaphor. As I told you before, metaphor is a literary term used for comparison without using like or as. As it is given there, reading a flowery band means the beautiful things of our life क्या करती हैं वो, bind us to the earth. So here imagery literary term is also given. Imagery means creating a sensory effect of the beautiful things lined up in a string, as it is given there, a flowery band to bind us. Now we can say that inversion is a new literary term. नॉर्मल ऑर्डर ऑफ द वर्ड्स इज़ रिवर्स्ड. अब यहाँ पर नॉर्मल जो ऑर्डर होना चाहिए था वर्ड्स का वो रिवर्स कर दिया गया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आर वी रीडिंग अ फ्लावरी बैंड. ओके, सो यहाँ पर वी आर रीडिंग अ फ्लावरी बैंड, इट शुड बी देयर, बट इट इज़ गिवन देयर द रिवर्स ऑफ नॉर्मल ऑर्डर ऑफ वर्ड्स, आर वी रीडिंग अ फ्लावरी बैंड. नाउ हेयर कम्स द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, नेक्स्ट एक्सट्रैक्ट ऑफ द पोएम. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pole from our dark spirits. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. 4 simple sheep and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make, against the hot season the mid-forest break. So first of all we will discuss the different Meanings here. First, boon. Boon means blessing. Rills means a small stream. And break. Break means a process to slow down. Here, the poet describes the beautiful things which are present there on the earth. As I was telling you that the poet has referred here the different images of beauty through the sun, the moon, the trees, the daffodils, the sheep. Okay, so here the poet wants to describe the beautiful things which are present there on the earth. What are they? These are the sun, moon, trees, flowers. Flowers here stands for daffodils. Okay, and the rivers also. So the poet wants to say that all these things are like a blessing upon us. Okay, so these things are called the blessings upon us. ये blessings की तरह work करती हैं on all the creatures by the earth. Okay, he further describes that the trees provide us with their shade. Okay, trees क्या provide करते हैं हमें? Shade provide करते हैं. Trees old and young sprouting a shady boon. हमें एक boon है ये हमारे लिए, एक blessing है. Okay, so जितने भी क्रिएचर्स अर्थ पर हैं, सो ये और जितनी भी थिंग्स यहाँ पर डिस्क्राइब की गई हैं, सन, मून, ट्रीज, ये सभी हमें इन सभी क्रिएचर्स के लिए क्या हैं? एक ब्लेसिंग्स हैं. सो द पोएट फर्दर वांट्स टू डिस्क्राइब अस द ट्रीज प्रोवाइड अस विद देयर शेड, फ्लावर्स विद देयर ब्यूटी एंड रिवर्स विद देयर coolness, especially during the summer season. Okay, so for simple sheep such are daffodils with the green world they live in. Clear rills means a small stream. So all these things of beauty are here described by the poet, and these things are like a blessings upon all the creatures by the earth. Now all of these things are the beauties of nature which are like a boon for us. Okay, so against the hot season and the mid forest break. So what does the simple sheep symbolize here? Sheep and lamb are envisioned as a symbol of innocence and serene beauty. Okay, so Keats has made special reference to the sheep as a symbols of divine beauty. So the poet wants to describe the beautiful things which are present there on the earth. Now we will discuss the literary term. Alliteration, it is also repeated here in the third extract of the poem. Use of consonant sound at the beginning of the two words which are close in series, as it is given there. S in sprouting shady simple sheep, C in cooling covert. Imagery, because tree giving shade, growing process of daffodils, clean river streams, these create an image of all the natural things. Now antithesis is also given there in the third extract. Antithesis means opposite words but placed together, as old and young. Okay, trees old and young, so opposite words are placed together to describe trees here. So we can say that old and young antithesis literary term is also used. Now here comes the next part. Rich with a sprinkling of fear, musk rose blooms, and such too is a graduate of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. So all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring on to us from the heavens brink. So first of all we will discuss the difficult meanings here. Grandeur means high rank or specially important. Mighty means enormous, huge. Immortal means never dying. So why the Keats has used here an endless fountain of immortal drink? What does it mean? So beauty, according to the Keats, is a perennial source of motivation and inspiration. So he considers it an endless fountain from which mankind can drink the elixir of life. So the poet further carries on with the description of the more beautiful things present on the earth, such as the beautiful musk roses which have such a nice fragrance. Then he describes the tales, the stories of the mighty warriors who led their lives for their countries. So, in these way, the poet wants to tell us the different examples of beauty. So, he wants to tell us everything in nature is a thing of beauty and a source of pleasure. Some of them are sun, moon, old daffodil flowers, small streams with clear water, and the blooming musk roses. So, all of them are things of beauty, and they are the constant sources of joy and pleasure, and remove the sadness of life, remove the gloom of life. So, the poet wants to tell us about the beautiful things which are present there on the earth. Now, then he describes the tales of the mighty warriors who led their lives for their countries or for humanity. He says that these beautiful things are the gifts from God for all of us. They are like a nectar given by God to us. एक अमृत की तरह है, endless fountain की तरह है. So, these are those beauties which are immortal, an endless fountain of immortal drink. Immortal drink means he considers it an endless fountain from which mankind can drink immortal. So, these are those beauties which are immortal and give us a reason to live on this earth despite having many sorrows in our life. So, now we will discuss the literary term. Alliteration is given there. Alliteration means the use of the consonant sound at the beginning of two words which are close in series, like at, in, have and heard. Metaphor. Metaphor is also used here. It's a comparison without using like or as. Immortal drinks means the beautiful objects of nature are forever like a never-ending portion of a drink. Rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is also used in every stanza of the poem. Forever, never, keep, sleep, dead, red. Okay, so imagery is also given there. Bushes full of musk roses. Books describing valor of fighters. God providing us with best things means pouring from the earth, heaven's brink. So, in this way we can say that beauty is a joy forever because its loveliness increases every time. जो उसकी loveliness है वो increase होती है. So, एक beautiful thing is perennial and constant. It sustains human spirit in all ages and stages. It never passes into nothingness. In fact, it moves away the pall from our dark spirits and make life worth living. So here some new words are also given to you. You can read these new words, and now we will discuss the message of this beautiful poem. So the message of the poem is that a beautiful object is treasured in our mind because ये हमें eternal और everlasting joy provide करता है. So therefore, let us keep the natural beauty intact and let us not destroy it. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel Sonia Banga Classes.